Hello and welcome to another edition of Personal Health and Fitness. I'm your show, Chad Marschik. My program today is on baseball conditioning, and we actually have two programs set up, and the program today is number one. So we've got several things to go over today. The first thing that you need to consider before you start a baseball conditioning program is that you've got to warm up properly. Now, all of these exercises I'm going to give you today are specifically for baseball, okay? So everything we do, keep in mind it's for baseball. And the first thing that I like to tell people before they warm up is that they should warm up dynamically and not necessarily statically. A lot of people do static stretching where, say, they may hold their foot here and try to stretch their quadriceps or do maybe particular hamstring stretches or low back stretches. That's fine, but you need to do that at the end of the program, all right? At the beginning, you need to be moving, and that's what we're going to share with you for the dynamic warm-up section of this particular show today. And the first exercise I'm going to demonstrate is called a star matrix, and this is a really good exercise that gets you moving in all three planes. You can use light dumbbells if you want. If you want to hold 2-pound dumbbells or 3-pound dumbbells, you can. If you're out there on the playing field and you're warming up before a game, this is a great exercise that you can do either holding a baseball in each hand or just using absolutely nothing. And this is what it looks like. You're going to take a step forward and reach back with your opposite hand. And when I have people do this, I usually take them through 3 cycles. And then you're going to step laterally, kicking out your hip and reaching over your head. Then you're going to step posteriorly off your hip, 45-degree angle, and rotate your arms across your body like this, almost like you're swinging a bat. So I'll give you a couple of different views from different angles. Okay, this is what it looks like from the side. So remember, step with your right leg, reach back with your opposite arm. If you're stepping with your left, reaching back with your right. When I kick out my hip, I'm reaching over my head with my same side arm. This is really great to stretch the groin and get your mid back. So that's 3 cycles through. If you want to do 4 or 5 cycles through, that's acceptable as well. The next dynamic warm-up drill I'm going to show you is a medicine ball walk. My sidekick today is Jesse Vesna, who's a trainer here at Body Symmetry, and he's going to do a medicine ball walk, all right? So the first exercise you're going to do, if you have a medicine ball, go ahead, Jesse. He's going to step, and he's going to try to look straight ahead, but you're going to try to step in alignment with your hips and rotate the ball at chest level. Go ahead and come back, Jesse. And I like to do about 10 to 15 repetitions. Now this particular exercise, we're doing 3 different movements. Chest level rotations. Now we're going to do figure 8 rotations. Again, if you're going to do this warm-up drill before a game, you don't need a medicine ball. If you're doing it as a conditioning part of your programming, then go ahead and use, say, a medicine ball. If you're a youngster, maybe a 1 kilogram ball, which is about 2.2 pounds. This ball that he's using is about 6.5 pounds. It's a 3 kilogram ball. And the third movement, Jesse's going to put it in his hip pocket. He's going to look straight ahead. So this is a great way to mobilize your middle back, your trunk rotators. Really important for throwing athletes and athletes that have to swing, since we're talking about baseball, to have good mobility in your middle back. Your thoracic spine really needs to rotate well. And you can see Jesse's just reaching behind him with the medicine ball and sticking the ball in his back pocket. Again, I like to do anywhere between 12 and 15 reps in each direction, all 3 positions. The third exercise I'm going to show you, we call it 360s. Now 360s, it's exactly what it is. You're going to jump 360 degrees. Now if you're a younger athlete and you don't have the athleticism or the ability to make a 360, then do 180s. So Jesse is pretty athletic. He's going to show us what 360s look like. And this is important to go in each direction. We like to kind of change it up. And you can see he kind of lost his balance there a little bit. But this is a great way to kind of get your nervous system firing. All right, and typically I like to have athletes do, say, 5 repetitions or so each direction. And you can see Jesse has a little bit more of a difficult time moving from right to left. Counterclockwise, he does fine. Very good. So that's basically what it looks like. Again, approximately 5 repetitions in each direction. And the fourth exercise we're going to show you is a walking lunge with an opposite arm posterior reach. All right? Maybe 15, 20 repetitions. And again, if you're doing this prior to a game, you can do it just across the infield, and this is fine. So what you're going to do, go ahead, Jesse. You're going to take a step forward and you're going to reach back with your opposite arm, all right? And this action mimics what you would do throwing a baseball, except you're doing the opposite. You're like loading your body up. So it helps to really stretch your middle back, helps to lengthen your abdominals, your trailing hip flexor, the leg that's trailing behind you. You got a nice stretch in your psoas, which is really important for throwing athletes. And so you're just walking. Go ahead and show them sideways, just here from this position so they get a good shot, what it looks like. And again, you get a nice stretch there. And think about how you set up when you throw a baseball, especially if you would, you know, for those pitchers out there. And this helps to really stretch, you know, the opposing muscle groups. As you go forward, you're shortening everything, all right? And what you're doing here is you're helping to lengthen everything. So it's a nice way to balance out all the throwing you're going to do in a game. All right. The next exercise we're going to show you is a 3D dumbbell matrix. You can either use a dumbbell. Actually, I shouldn't say dumbbell, but it's an actual shoulder matrix. And it's a way to warm up all your rotator cuff muscles and all the ligaments and tendons that help support athletes that have to throw a baseball, okay? And I'll demonstrate this one. If you're going to do this exercise, you need to make sure that you stagger your feet. So if you look from the side, what it looks like, I take a pretty nice staggered position with my feet about hip width. And take your fist, or you can hold a baseball in each hand for resistance, and you're going to punch forward with each hand. Then you're going to reach over, kicking out your hip, and reach over the opposite way, and then I'm going to punch backwards. Punch backwards. But it really helps to get your scapula moving in all different directions. So punch, punch, reach over, kick out your hips, punch backwards, turn punch, turn punch. And this is what it looks like from the side. So I may do 3 cycles with my right foot forward and then 3 cycles with my left foot forward. So punch, punch, reach over, punch backwards. And again, as I punch backwards, I get a nice lengthening effect here in my abs. Reach and punch. Punch, punch, reach over, punch back, lean back when you punch, and then turn and rotate. So a great way to really warm up all those muscles that help you throw a baseball. The last dynamic stretch we're going to give you, or dynamic warm-up drill, is the giant matrix. And the giant matrix, you're going to start off what I call home base, which is your feet are going to be pointed straight ahead. And you're going to take a big step forward. Envision that you would have to step over a fence, all right? And Jesse, let's do this in a reaching fashion when you have to bend over like a baseball player would. So Jesse's going to take a big step forward. He's going to reach out in front of him. And now he's going to step sideways, step over that 3-foot tall fence. Just think of a fence that's 3 feet tall around your body, the perimeter. You're going to have to step each time over it to get out and then back over it to get back home. And again, it's 3 directions he's going. He's going forward, forward, sideways, sideways, and then a posterior 45-degree step. Jesse, let's do it from the side now so people, that's good. Kind of get a good idea of what it looks like. Step, bend forward. It's a nice way to lengthen your hamstrings. And stepping sideways is a good way to really help stretch the groin for those infielders that have to make a ballistic step laterally to snag a line drive or to get to a ball. And that helps with change of direction, the last movement. All right, and that's the dynamic warm-up drills that you're going to go through. The next are the core exercises. The core exercises is part of the actual training program. So the dynamic warm-up can be done either before a game or before your workout, all right? The first dynamic core exercise, or the day 1 core exercise we're going to do, is a staggered stance reverse wood chop. So this would be actually part of the training program. This core exercise for your day 1 program And you're going to use a medicine ball here, and you're going to stagger your stance. Go ahead, Jesse. And you're going to reach back over your head, just like so. Now, ideally, you want to kind of look straight ahead the whole time. So bring the ball forward. Going to drop the ball kind of midline of your body, and then really lean back. And you don't want to bend your elbows too much when you go backwards. Jesse, you want to kind of turn sideways to give people an idea. Looks like from the side. And again, you can see he gets a really nice lengthening effect in his abs and his middle back and his hip flexor on his trailing leg. And this is really specific to baseball players. Great exercise. Okay, that's the staggered stance reverse wood chop. And the next exercise we're going to demonstrate is the jump tubing rotation. You know, baseball has a major rotational component to it, as do most sports. And this is going to simulate swinging a bat, all right? So you need tubing, you need to tie it off on something that's nice and stable, all right? All kinds of tubing out there, you need to find what works for you. And then Jesse's going to jump and swing violently. So he's going to jump out, get a little elevation, a little air time, and as soon as his feet hit the ground, he's going to swing. All right, you want to try it from the other side? So as far as the reps, I may have somebody do roughly 12 repetitions. You okay? All right, next we're going to do a hover with an opposite arm leg raise. And we like to set this up for baseball players in a circuit type fashion. So we'll do one exercise, then followed by the next exercise. When we're training core, we don't usually have athletes rest more than maybe 15, 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, so they can get set up for the next exercise. Go ahead, Jesse. So this hover with an opposite arm leg lift, you're going to get in a push-up position. Now, Jesse's going to lift his left arm and his right leg. And he's trying to keep his body pretty parallel to the floor. You can see that his hips aren't elevated. He's going to hold that for about 2 to 3 seconds and then switch sides. But it really engages your core stabilizers as well as your shoulder stabilizers too. Really important for baseball players to work on those stabilizers in their shoulders as well. And again, we're not going to, on this I may have somebody do maybe 8 to 12 repetitions. Okay, that's good. But again, based on your level of fitness, you can manipulate your reps and sets based on what you can and can't do. The next exercise we're going to do is the tubing stabilization walkouts. And this really helps to develop stability through your hip musculature as well as your core and your shoulder stabilizers as well. This is a partner drill. So you need to set up with one guy's going to hold on to the tubing and the other guy's going to actually do the walkout part. So if you notice here, Jesse's trying to keep his shoulders and his hips and his knees and his feet square to each other as he moves laterally. So he may take 6 to 10 steps to his right and then 6 to 10 steps to his left. And this tubing here, because I'm pulling on it, is providing resistance, and he really has to fight his body from moving, especially his upper body. His arms want to move right or left based on how I'm pulling here. Go ahead and turn around. So you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like from the side. And back to me. He's making it look pretty easy, but it's much more difficult than what it looks like. Okay, that's good. And that's the tubing stabilization. Maybe 30 seconds each direction would be appropriate. Make sure you turn around and hit both sides. All right. The next thing we're going to do is the low to high tubing rotation. And the low to high tubing rotation, I'm going to have Jesse hold on to this at the base, and I'll demonstrate what this looks like. We featured this on a couple of programs in the past, but it's a great rotational exercise for baseball players. But what you're going to do, you need a partner or something that's a fixed apparatus that you can tie the tubing off at the base that allows you to do this exercise. And you're going to take the tubing, grab it with an overhand grip, and you're going to rotate to the right and to the left. right and to the left, right and to the left. So it's almost like if I had a bucket of water and I had to really heave ho and throw it. See what it looks like from the side a little bit here, this angle. I try to use my feet when I come down, really load my hips, all right? And as I rotate, I'm pivoting on my opposite leg. If I'm going to my left, my right foot's going to pivot. All right, really important. So maybe anywhere between 10 and 15 reps to each direction. Obviously, if you're using really heavy resistance, then you won't be able to do as many repetitions. So that's it for the core segment. The next portion we're going to go over is the day one leg routine. And the day one leg routine, I'm going to give you, again, repeat the giant matrix. And we talked about that. You can use resistance if you want to. So this is what it looks like if you're not doing the giant matrix as part of the warm-up, but an actual exercise. So again, this is what it looks like. He's stepping out, reaching down with the weights. If you wanted to hold on to a medicine ball, if you have a weighted vest, that's also acceptable. It's a little bit harder balance-wise than what you think because you're really trying to develop that explosiveness from the bottom up back to the starting position. And again, that's what that looks like. So I may have, again, an athlete do anywhere between 3 and 5 cycles would equal 1 set in all directions. Okay? The next exercise we're going to do is the tubing step overs. The tubing step overs really work your groin and your hips. This is a very important exercise for all athletes, but especially baseball players because it's so groin dominant, because they have to run, because they have to lunge laterally, they have to rotate their body too. Jesse, how's that look? Okay? So you need a tubing, and you're going to tie it off typically about the height of each athlete's hip, all right? Now Jesse's going to step over and then step underneath it. But when you step underneath, you really want to reach out with your feet so that your groin really works hard. And maybe I'll have an athlete do anywhere between 8 and 10 repetitions. You want to get it from this side so you kind of get a different angle. Again, you're stepping over and then stepping under. You see how he kind of pushes his hips back as well as he tries to get his body underneath the tubing. Okay, that's good, Jesse. And again, that's the tubing step over. Make sure that you dress both sides. A lot of pitchers tend to get really tight in their groin because of the repetitive nature of throwing a baseball in one direction. All right, the next exercise we're going to do is a single leg box squat. Now the single leg box squat, actually we're going to use a smaller box. I think this is a great exercise, and I'll demonstrate this one. You're going to use a 12-inch box on this one. And some people may think of a single leg box squat as placing their foot up here and going down and standing up. That's one version. I call this a plunge squat, but that's not the exercise I'm going to demonstrate. This exercise involves you reaching, almost like you're a baseball, like you're a pitcher, all right? So you're going to set your foot up on this 12-inch box, which would simulate a pitcher's mound, all right? And you really want to stride out far enough. Typically, your stride position of your forward foot should be the same as if you were on the mound and you would stride and throw to the catcher, all right? So figure out where your feet need to be based on that. And your toe definitely needs to be on the box, all right? Not like this, but just like you're toeing off the mound. You're going to reach out in front, and you're going to squat down, preferably to 90 degrees, all right? And then stand up. And then you're going to reach to your right, and then squat down. And then reach to your left, squat down, and reach over your head and squat down. That represents one cycle. Let me show you what it looks like. And I've had athletes do as many as 5 cycles, which 5 cycles is 20 reps, and maybe I'll have them do up to 5 sets. So reach in front, reach to the right, reach to the left, and reach over your head. Down, right, left, really reach back overhead. And that's what that particular exercise looks like, but really great to stretch the abs, really great for the hip flexors, really great for the glutes and the hamstrings. Okay, the next exercise we're going to do is a single leg lateral double hop with jump. Single leg lateral double hop with jump. And this is really, I guess, infielders especially, this is really who this is designed for. But what you're going to do is you're going to balance on one foot. Okay, and you're going to do this both directions. So it's 2 hops with a jump. All right. So if you were an infielder, shortstop per se, go ahead, Jesse, and you have to get to a ball. This is teaching you how to really explode laterally. So jump, jump, jump. So it's kind of hop, hop, jump actually. All right, let's do it sideways. So it's 2 hops followed by an explosive jump. Jump, jump, good. Jump, jump, jump. Hop, hop, jump. So it's boom, boom, and then an explosive jump. Good, that's good, Jesse. All right, very explosive, really takes advantage of your hips. All right, the next exercise we're going to share with you are the teeter-totters. I'm going to demonstrate that one. If you have, you can hold a pair of dumbbells for this one. Good for all throwing athletes. Balance on one leg. Make sure you keep your hips square as you go down. All right, you shouldn't rotate your hips to the right or to the left because you really want to get a good stretch and a good strengthening effect. So as I go down here, you can see in the down position, my trailing leg is nice and straight, my head straight, and my spine is straight. That's what it should look like. And that's the teeter-totter. Okay, that's the leg portion. Now we're going to go on to the upper body portion. The first exercise we're going to do is the spider walks. So go ahead and get now. Once you face me, Jesse, get in push-up position. You can go side to side, doesn't matter. So now you're going to get in push-up position, spider walks. He's going to move laterally to his left. As you can see, his hips are nice and square. His hips aren't up in the air. And I like to have athletes maybe do this 15 reps each direction. 15 reps to your left, 15 to your right. Really works the shoulder stabilizers, the core stabilizers, as well as your chest musculature. Okay, that's good. The second upper body exercise, the tubing X patterns. The tubing X patterns are really beneficial for throwers because it helps to protect all the neutralizers and stabilizers in your shoulder joint. So you're going to cross your arms in an X pattern. You want to face the camera on this one, Jesse. So this is really important, how you set this up, the way your hand should look. You can do this on a cable machine too, but most people don't have access to a good one, and you can use really inexpensive tubing. Go ahead, Jesse. So you're going to go down into a squat and then bring your arms up. You can do this 2 different variations. You can stand without squatting, or you can squat and come up, either or. Either way is acceptable, both just slightly different. One involves the hips if you squat, obviously. Go ahead and stand to the side. Yep. And that's what it looks like through his mid-back and down. And I like to have people hold this for about a 3 count. Really good for the shoulder stabilizers. And that's the X patterns. I may have somebody do that 12 repetitions, again holding it for a 3 count at the top. The next exercise is the tubing press circuit. So the tubing press circuit, and I'll demonstrate this one. I like to use dual exercise tubing, but you can also use 2 single exercise tubes tied off onto a fixed piece of equipment. The fixation point's about chest level. Okay, I like to stagger my stance and alternate punching, and I'll do a series of 12 reps. up to 15 reps with my elbows up, and then I'll switch my feet, all right? Really reach out and push. Again, count 12 repetitions with each foot forward. So you'll have 24 actual repetitions, but great for your core stabilizers as well as your chest and your shoulders, okay? The next exercise is the reverse tubing fly. And the reverse tubing fly is done like so. So you can tie this off onto a fixed piece of equipment or have a partner hold it. And what Jesse's going to do, he's going to bring back. I like to actually do this in a staggered stance position. So stagger your stance, and you're going to really lean back when you bring your arms back, okay? To help lengthen your abs and really get your mid-back cooking. Okay, so important to stagger your stance and really lean back here to get your mid-back working as far as your thoracic spine to extend. And keep your elbows straight here. Good. And that's what it's going to look like. Okay, series of anywhere between 12 and 15 reps. And the next exercise we're going to do, and I'll demonstrate that, is a reaching tubing row circuit. And again, all throwing athletes really need to have good, strong hamstrings, nice elastic and or flexible hamstrings. And this helps to promote that because it helps to train your hamstrings to decelerate all that momentum going forward, and not only from throwing a baseball, also from sprinting. So you're going to stagger your stance. My right foot is forward. My left foot is behind me with my toes on the ground. I'm going to reach out like I have to grab something off of the table, and then I'm going to lean back and pull. Make sure that your upper body is upright here, all right? Not leaning back excessively, not forward, but in a nice vertical position. Really reach out. As you reach forward, your hamstrings are going to really lengthen here, as well as your glutes. So I'll do 12 reps with my right foot forward, and 12 reps with my left foot forward. And that's what the reaching tubing row looks like. And that's it for the upper body exercises. And actually, that's it for the day one program. If you have any questions about what we do here at Body Symmetry, please feel free to call us at 793-9972. And also go to our website at bodysymmetry.com. Thanks, Jesse, for your help. Until next time, I'm your host, Chad Marschik. Hey, Quinn and Riley.